So, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to paste two attachments in the chat box, which we're gonna use like these commands in uh, this couple of minutes, like we're gonna use in today's session. So I'll try to send you the attachments here. Great. I don't know why I can't. Okay, so I have sent you attachments in the WhatsApp group, so I believe everyone can access those attachments there. And those are the attachments that we're gonna use in this session. Like there are some commands, what we're gonna execute in this session, all those stuff. So first of all, before going into this conversation, let me explain what's the Git. So basically, Git is a like a version control system. So what I can say is, for example, every developer, either DevOps guy, data engineer guy, anyone, when they're working, they try to do modifications in the code, like they want to do different changes in the code. For example, they have executed or deployed some code and they felt like maybe they should do some changes there. So all this needs to be stored at some place, and different teams should collaborate. For example, let's assume we are all employees of the some project. In some project there is some code change, we need to do some modifications in the code, and we are all the workers. It's not like only one guy should do. There are like XYZ, three guys are there, three guys should do their modifications. They will present it to the manager, or they will push their changes to the main code. For example, let's say there is a central code to which we have to do our modifications, and if everything went well, we will push it to the main repository or project, whatever I can say. So here what happens is, it is used to track the changes in the codes or files during the software development. It allows multiple developers to collaborate on a project, and it will keep the track of the changes and revert to the earlier versions if needed. For example, you have made a code, you felt like, okay, this is not working, you can even revert back to the previous one, like you can make it like previously it was. So everything until now what I'm trying to tell was all theoretical. So when we move ahead, I suggest everyone to implement it practically so that you will have it fun, you will enjoy it, and I want everyone to um, practically do that, just not listening it. So there are two things, Git and GitHub. Git is like I said, it's like version control system where you do modifications and everything. GitHub is like web-based, what I can say, platform. There are different platforms for the GitHub. There is a Git like GitHub, Bitbucket. There are different platforms. Git you will do in your local machine, and the GitHub, Bitbucket, all these platforms are like web-based platforms that provide us the chance to push our code, pull our code there. It's like central version control system, like centralized one or distributed one. So, coming into the main stuff, let me explain you. Before the explanation, let me help you install the Git first. So I believe everyone should have this. I mean, in their systems, like whether they are using MacBook or Windows, I want everyone to install it on their machines. Like you can go to the git-gcm scm.com. Here you can download your own versions. Like I can say, for the guys who are using the MacBook, for me, I don't have to download here. For us, it's like automatically Git is installed. um for the Windows guys, you can simply come here and download Git from here. and then you can try to install it. Sorry, I don't even have the Windows Mac laptop handy so that I can show that. But if you guys face any issues when you are installing, you can let me know. After the installation is done, for the Windows guys, when you try to install that from the download, you will get a icon called git bash. Like you get this icon, so you'll get git bash. There you have to enter and give the command git version. That gives the version. That means your git is already installed. I'm sorry, I'm trying to um make it speed because this session I already completed offline, but I'll try to give quick recap and I'll try to make everyone understand this. So this is the step after you install the git, or you have to, even if you doubt like maybe git is already there in your system, you can check by running this command. And these are the files that I said to use. If you see, this is the first file you can use now. So uh, you can use the git version command to check which version of the git you are using here after you install. Once it shows the version, that means your the git is ready. And the second thing, local machine git is ready. In There is GitHub also, that's web-based GitHub, that where where we will manage all our repositories. If you go to GitHub repository, I was already logged in. But when you try to come inside, like if you guys already have the GitHub repository, that's well and good. I can just show you from the where we will create repository and everything. But you guys already don't have the repository. You just have to go to GitHub. Even if I go here, I believe it will show me. Sorry, sign up. Okay. It's already logging in for me. So if you guys don't have GitHub repository, you guys when you you try to do the Facebook and all social media applications, you can log in through Gmail. You can just give your username there and your GitHub will be set up. That's it. Like you don't have to do the core modifications. After you sign up, I can show you how we can move ahead with the account you have in your hand. So if you guys need any help, you can let me know. Like if you are still confused, or if you guys feel like you guys need help in the sign up also, you can ask me. I can help you guys with that. Okay. So like I said, I can show you git status. Yeah, this is what I can show you to explain what Git and GitHub are primarily doing. So, for example, there is a repository. This is a centralized repository. Like this is server. This is located in GitHub. This is like browser. We are accessing browser, right, to access the GitHub. So it's like web-based one, which is GitHub. That's a remote one. And this is the local one. This all gets done in our local machine. Working directory in the sense like where you work with the files, like where you do the changes in the file, where you do the changes in the modification to the files, whatever the work you do in your code or files, that comes under working directory. Okay. Then if you wanted to move ahead, there is something called staging area or index area in the git. That means you can just give the command git add that file name to which you did modifications. There may be different files where you have to modify. You can just give the git add and the file name there. It comes into the staging area. Staging or index area is something that you can move changes back, and you can take the changes forward. And if you wanted to commit the changes, for example, commit is nothing but like commitment. You are committed, like, hey, I have to do this work for sure. So that comes under git commit. So once you commit, it goes into the repository. In your, this all is happening in your local machine only. If you observe, that's why I'm showing this image. This is happening in your local machine only. And this is remote one, that's GitHub. So you can say this is like Git, and you can consider something this is like GitHub. So in your local machine, for example, let's see, you have a code, you did some modifications, and you added it, and you committed it, and if you felt everything is right, yeah, you can move it to the Git repository, you can move to the GitHub, you can give the command git push. So let's do this practical so that you guys will easily understand. For the new guys, I'm trying to say from scratch. For example, this is the website we have. This is the we have signed up. Nothing is new here, so you guys don't even have to worry like where we stand. Um, 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 can every one of you
Bhuvik,
mute
can you
yourself,
mute
please?
yourself?
Okay. So coming to the terminologies, here the terminologies is so important before going into the classes, because if I go and talk everything, you won't understand. In GitHub, this is the website. You will be having many repositories here. This is basically your username. Don't get confused. For me, it's this. For you guys, there may be some other name. So this is like, I'm in repository session. If you come here and you can search here also, like find repository. I have 5 repositories in my bucket. So this is just username with my repo. Repository, you can consider it as project or folder, whatever you can say. What you will do, for example, if you say marriage photos, there is a folder. What you'll keep in the inside that marriage photos, you'll keep all marriage photos related images only, right? Like haldi, whatever it is. So we will create specific repository or specific folder, so that we want to indicate, hey, this is the thing you can find inside this repository, or this is the fold inside this folder you can find these things. So you will create this repository first here. So before working into anything, well, first step is like create your own repository. So let me give the repository name git tetra. Okay, you can give the description, make it public. You can give add git ignore. So basically, you can include add readme file. Add readme files includes the readme file in your repository. That means along with the folder inside that, it will create a file. Like it will just indicates like why this repository is created. For example, add readme file is there. Let's give the description. This is sample repo for learning. Mhm. So git ignore. This one also you can ignore or you can include. For example, I don't want to confuse you guys. For example, in your local machine, let's say you have a folder or repository. Inside there are many codes or files which you want to push to the repository, I mean to the GitHub. If you want to exclude anything, like if you feel like, hey, this is not really necessary for this project, you can add those files in the git ignore. So you can ignore now also. That's not a big deal. So yeah, this is readme file, this is public, and you are git ignoring it. See, now this creates a repository. And when I'm creating the repository, I said, hey, I need this is sample repository for learning. So inside readme file, this is telling this content. So readme file is something you can ignore it, but this is important when some, for example, there is a new employee or some other guy is looking into the your repo, and he will clearly understand, okay, maybe so and so guy created this repository for this purpose. So it will tell the purpose. So if you observe, I'm inside my username, I'm inside my repository. I'm trying to clearly say, if you guys have any doubts, please let me know. So this is my repository and I'm inside my repository. So I'm inside this repository and these are all the options I can see here. And this is public one. And if you see here, there is a defaultly a branch will be created. You understand? Defaultly, there are something called branches in the Git. This is important. So try to understand what is branches. Um, like you can see there is a tree. Tree. The straight one considered as a default branch, and there are small branches to the tree. That's are personal branches. So defaultly, a main branch be created every time. So in this only, in real time, when you're doing jobs, every code will be moving to the main only. Final, this is the final step. So this is just folder. You still haven't went into how we work on it, how files and folders work. So you will still won't understand. But yeah, when repository gets created, main branch will be the created. And previously, this main branch used to be the master branch. So whenever you are learning Git, or maybe if you already know little Git previously, you may be confused like, hey, there is a used to be Git master and main. But yeah, recently changed that to default branch name as main. If you see there are maybe some commands like git pull master, git push master. Now we can use git pull main, git push main. You can use this. Okay. I don't want to confuse you guys. So this is the basic one. So we're inside our repo. Okay. Let me reduce this last time. Okay. Okay. This is our repo. One branch, nothing. No files are there. Okay. So here we don't have any files. So in the real time also, this is how it works. There would be, you will go to company, there will be already in company, there will be some repositories running. For repositories, there is some main branches. Now, what you have to do? They will say, you newly entered into the company. They will say, hey, Abhi, do these changes. What you will do? They will say, hey, Abhi, in this code, we have to do some modifications. This is our repository. Uh, they won't say everything briefly. They will say, hey, this is our repository we use for our project. Do so and so changes in the that file. For example, let's see. I will show you the existing files. In first repo, see, in previous one there is nothing, but here already there are some files because I already worked on this. So these are this many files. So your manager or team lead or your needs say that, hey, you need to do some modifications in the tetra_llc.txt file. How you will do? This is browser. You won't do it here. So what we will do is we will clone this to the local repository, local machine. So we will clone this to the local machine. So like if you see when you go into the Google, when you needs an image, what you'll do, you'll right click and you will say save as download, save image as something. So you are getting whatever in the browser to your local machine, right? Likewise, Git is also in GitLab is also GitHub is also in the web base. So if you want that to be a local machine, there is something called clone here. HTTPS. There is a clone. You have to clone this. So if you guys practically implementing this, that's well and good. Like you will easily understand this. Okay, let me go ahead from the scratch. So this is the Git tetra just we created. Let's copy this, but I have missed the step. For the new guys, what I'll try to say this. Be ready to learn some Linux commands also, because when you're trying to learn these commands and how to work in your local machine on the Git, you will learn many Linux commands like commands to create a file and so and so. Like I said, you don't have to do every time the commands to do the changes. All we need to do, you even have the user interfaces also, Git user interface, but graphical interface. There you will easily understand. But I will say practically implementing commands will make you expert. And whenever there is an issue in future, you will clearly you can clearly point out. So I'm in my terminal. You guys will be the guys who is using Windows will be in the Git bash. Okay. So there you have to just go there. I believe you guys tried Git version there. Mhm. Okay. So PWD. These commands are here also. Don't get confused. So PWD. PWD gives us the path where we stand. So it says, where are you here? So I believe, I don't know if many freshers are also there. So I'll try to make them understand. This is the terminal. where we are doing everything using commands. Here, nothing have to worry. Hey, we have to run commands. This is something like coding. You don't have to worry anything like this. Coding is something different, and this is just commands because this is user interface. See, this is a, for example, consider this box as a system. This is another system. They don't have anything colorful like this. See, if here I am having this, I'm just going and clicking, and I'm just going and clicking here. But coming to Linux and Ubuntu, we don't have graphical interface here. We give commands. If you see, if I just wanted to see what's inside, it is saying PWD is saying, hey, you are in users Abdul Salam. And if I want to see what are all inside the Abdul Salam folder, I will enter this. It is saying, see, you have documents, downloads, everything here. That's what it is trying to say. If you go here, Finder, it is simply showing you don't have to give ls command. If you go into this folder, it is automatically showing because that's a graphical interface. So I will say you will learn some Git Linux commands also that's more useful. Like see, you came to learn Git and you are parallelly learning the commands also. So I'm currently in users Abdul Salam and this is list. And make sure you're not in OneDrive. In Windows, mostly we defaultly will be into OneDrive. Try to make yourself be in some your local C drive. That would be better. So for you guys, it may show like users something something. So like I said, we have to be neatfully managing everything. So we have to create everything well. Um, so I would say create a separate folder for doing all this stuff. So create a separate folder for doing all this stuff. Okay. Uh, I already created. If you see ls, there is Git learning folder here. How I did that? Make dir. Command is make direct. Make directory or folder is same. Okay. We are saying make directory. See, I'm giving it. See, this is directory. This is not file. So if you see again now list, it is showing uh which one? You can see tetra directory also. Even if you go in your file manager and see, it would show there. You got it right? So in your local file manager also, if you go and see, it will show you tetra there. That's how it works. Yeah. So likewise, I have created a Git learning cd Git learning folder. I have named it Git learning for easy understanding. So I will understand whatever practice learning I am doing, I am gonna keep that in the Git learning folder. If I see here, there is nothing. If I want to come back just one folder behind, for example, in Windows, you are under documents and inside you are under college documents. If you want to go back in Windows, you will just give back arrow. Here you will give two dots. We will go back. If you see, I again came back. Understood, right? Now again, I'm going to enter into CD documents. It's like I'm clicking on documents inside my Windows system. Here I'm giving CD documents, ls. The reason why I came here is like because in the documents folder I placed my Git so that I can learn, I can keep all my practice and learning inside that. So if you want to go inside, just give cd and Git, or you can give just tab by giving some initial words there. If you see here inside the Git, I have placed all my repositories. So if you can observe this, these are the names of my repositories which you found in the GitHub. See, if you see here. These are all the folders that's in my local machine. How I did that? I have cloned it using the clone command. So see, I have created a repository called git tetra here. We can come here. I can copy the code here. I will show you practically. See, inside documents, inside Git, there are only 5 repositories here. Git tetra is the repository that I have created inside the Git in the web, right? In local machine, I haven't created. So I'm downloading it to the local using the clone command. Now, I want that repository inside the Git folder. That's why I'm trying to be in the path Git. Always try to this is also important when you're working in IT. So whenever you're doing some changes, try to be in that folder. We will try to be in different folder and we feel like, hey, that's not happening, that's not right. So always try to make sure of the hierarchy of the repository is there. So let me run this command git clone here. So if you do this outside of this box, so it will get cloned in outside of the repository. You will not be inside the Git. Okay. So if you see, this is the Git Tetra repository local. So in the Chrome, like I said, when you want to download some image, you'll just give save images. But in the Git language, it's like you are cloning it to the local machine. So this is from the browser, it came to your machine. Even if you can see here, see, that's there. There is some README file that already got created here. So that's the repository. So let's go to Git Tetra. No, Git Tetra. ls if I see only readme file is there. So let me clear all this stuff. So I don't know if you guys can clearly see this. So for example, you have a repository now in your browser. You have downloaded it to local. You have to do some modifications. You have to, for example, see in Google Drive what you will do. You have your photos offline in your local mobile, and you will push that changes to your, like, what I can say, into the Google Drive using the upload option there. So you are uploading whatever is in a local machine to the browser there, right? So in here, what happens is we can do this add. Here you can add and commit and push the changes to the repository here. Okay. So if you see, there is no files here. Let's create a new file. I don't want to create. So let's do echo. Echo is consultancy. Okay. Oh, no. So you can say like tetra.txt. If you see ls, what it is doing is it is saying, hey, write this. Echo means write. Echo, write this content inside the tetra.txt. If you, when you see previously, there is only file, there is no file here. So what it is doing is creating new file and placing the content inside that. If you want to see what's the content inside the tetra.txt, you can give the cat command. Cat will show what's inside the file. See, inside tetra is consultancy is here. Now, always try to make sure you run git status command. Git status is saying, hey, on branch main, it is talking about the GitHub repository, about browser. It is saying your branch is up to date. In the browser, we haven't did any modifications. We are doing in our local machine. In our local machine, it is saying there is untracked file. It is saying use git add command to add the file, that so that the changes will be committed. And it is saying this is the file you have to do the modifications. So like I said, if I go here, this is the stages that I was showing previously. So we are working here. We haven't moved it to anywhere. It is saying git add it to the staging area. Then if you commit it, it will go to the repository inside your local machine. Repository is something gets created when you create the Git, and that's something I will talk later. So once your changes are ready, everything is good, you will push the changes to the repository. So we are still here. It is saying, hey, your changes are not tracked. Move it to Git add, and it is showing the suggestions also here. See, it is saying Git add. If you see, I don't know, my meeting will end. I will try to log in again after this. So git add tetra.txt. Again, always try to run git status. It will show you where you stand. And it is talking about browser. Ignore this. It's talking about origin. Origin or remote is like something browser, you can consider it, not about local machine. It is saying changes to be committed. Use git restore to come back, unstage, new file. So what it is saying, okay, this step is done. It's in staging area. You can come back or you can move forward. If you want to move forward to what you want to use, you can use git commit command here. Git commit. You have to give message. What you have to give? You have to give some message. Git file created. We have committed a change. It is saying one file changed, one insertion happened. This is the commit number. And now give again git status. What it is saying? You are one branch ahead of pushing it to the origin. It is saying you are at the last step pushing it to the origin. If you do this pushing to the origin, you can go back to the repository. Guys, I'm trying to. I don't know this meeting will end. I will try to join again this meeting using the same link here. I will again restore this. I'm just trying to switch out so that um, you guys won't file difficulty half and half. So I'll try all this continuation in the new joining. I will just try to log in again using the same link. You guys also please log in using the same link.